This week on Previews World Weekly, we discussed that insane Boba Fett trailer, all of your creative Halloween costumes, and how Chris Pratt has been cast as everything, but specifically Garfield. It's all happening right now on Previews World Weekly. What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday, which means it's New Comic Book Day, which means it's once again time for Previews World Weekly. I am your host, Ashton Greenwood, aka the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day. I have the reins again this week. Troy is still out enjoying his honeymoon, but I'm joined by a very special guest this week. Anamia, welcome back. I'm surprised they let us come back after last week's train wreck.
I know. I don't think they know what they're in for, but
doing this as long as they let us. So how are you? How was your Halloween?
It was good. We had a couple trick-or-treaters. You know, I usually do like jump scares, like those animatronics outside my house. And I will tell you, having the 3-foot jumping spider is probably the best investment I have ever had.
Oh no.
That one gets kids all the time. And I'm always afraid every year that I'm gonna like encounter that one parent that gets really mad that I like have scared their child. But literally every parent is just cracking up. I mean, the ones this year were like taking videos, and I was like, this is great.
Man, that's savage. Just traumatize your child. Do it for the gram.
That's Halloween, man. That's what it's about.
Right. Who among us has not been traumatized by a Halloween experience?
Right?
All right, so speaking of spooky, scary Skeleton Man, the new Morbius trailer dropped. Did you get a chance to catch that?
I did, and I've never like really read anything about Morbius. I wasn't familiar with him, so I was going into this with like fresh eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so what kind of superhero is this guy? And then it starts getting into like the vampire, and I was like, okay, you have me, vampires? Yes.
I same as you, like I'm not, super familiar with Morbius, so it was kind of like a blind watch for me as well. And two things really jumped out at me from like the vampire standpoint. One, Jared Leto's just a really good cast because in general, he kind of already gives you vampire vibes with just like the way he looks as a person that exists, the hair and the cheekbones and all that. So it's good casting. And then the second thing I liked was, as someone that was admittedly a fan of Twilight and also a fan of True Blood, like we very much fell into this era of like beautiful, gorgeous vampires, and that's not this. And I love the total departure from like the vampire stereotypes.
Yes, no, very true. I think Jared Leto in this is perfect casting. I'm really excited to see him in this. I mean, this is coming after the House of Gucci trailer where like they completely made him look like Paul Giamatti. I don't know why they didn't just hire Paul Giamatti, but like I'm glad that they're actually using him in this. And like you said, because he does have that like vampire look to him. It's very natural for him. But yeah, this looks exciting. I'm super excited for this one.
So am I. I kind of was like a little apprehensive about it at the beginning. I feel like there might have been another trailer at some point in time, like maybe before, like early 2020, before the world just died. It was a bad word choice. I tried to avoid that, and my mouth was like, say it anyway.
There's no other way to say it.
I know. I feel like this was a trailer a while back, and I was kind of like lukewarm about the first trailer, but this one was, I feel, much more successful.
Yeah, no, it was very action-packed. I mean, yeah, the first 30 seconds, I was like, I have no idea what's going on. But then I was like, yes, this is like Blade and like, but Marvel Blade. Yes, let's do this. But like vampire action, yeah, I was very here for it. So yeah, this is one that I'm very excited to see. Yes, that face.
Yeah. And before we change to another trailer, I want to call attention to his Venom joke at the end. Just that nice way to put those two together as existing in the same universe. I appreciated that. He's like, I'm Venom. It's like, just kidding. So in terms of other trailers, okay, we have to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. I'm dying to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. What is your take? What is your hot take?
I'm excited. I will say it does feel exactly like The Mandalorian, like the way it's shot. The like it's very like the next progression, which is great because I've been
Yeah.
missing the Mandalorian. And I was really excited to see Fennec in there because I've been super into her character and her background. And
Yeah.
I mean, I love everything Mingna when I call her Mama Mingna.
Yeah.
So like I love her in
Great.
anything. And so I'm really excited. And then yeah, the callbacks to Jabba and yeah, just it's another part of the story that we're getting, and it's
Mhm.
really filling in that space that I think everyone's been kind of like dying for some Star Wars content, some live action
Absolutely.
Star Wars content.
Absolutely. Because this was kind of one of the big things that I was excited about in the second season of Mandalorian. And it's probably safe to say that a lot of people were really excited to see the return of Boba Fett. Because you kind of like, as a Star Wars fan, he didn't die in Sarlacc, but it wasn't canon until this point. So, like, I'm excited to see him come back and to round out his character arc, right? Like, you guys know I'm super big into character development, character arc. And so, for this trailer to immediately start with him being like, I'm not a bounty hunter, I'm interested to see where that's going to go, because he's not, like, in the truest sense of the word, I guess. I don't know. There's room for argument there, but I mean, he's definitely not a Mandalorian. So I'm interested to see kind of how they fill in his backstory if that happens. I'm also hoping, I know they do a lot of Jabba the Hutt talk in the trailer. I'm hoping for some sort of mention on like Bib Fortuna. Just like, I personally love Bib Fortuna. I know he's not important and is super underrated, but I hope they at least mention that he was murdered unceremoniously at the end of Mandalorian in that post-credit scene. I had some other thing I was gonna say, but I've forgotten.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to see like how much this breaks the app the first day it comes. I mean, because
Yes.
Mandalorian was already so huge, and I think people are just waiting and like
Mhm.
excited for new content to come out. So, yeah, I have a feeling that's gonna break the internet, and I'm gonna want to stay away from Twitter every morning. So,
Yup.
yeah.
I hope, like, so far, I feel like, from a Disney standpoint, like, everyone's done a relatively decent job of remaining spoiler free through like Mandalorian and WandaVision and Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier. So hopefully keep the streak alive, keep it to yourself. So that's coming out on December 29th. That'll be hitting Disney Plus. In the meantime, if you want more Boba Fett, more bounty hunters, you can head to your local comic shop, catch War of the Bounty Hunters from Marvel. It is this enormous ongoing series that tracks the transportation of Han Solo and Carbonite from Cloud City to Jabba's palace on Tatooine, and it is awesome. And also, if you want more Morbius, there's tons of Morbius comics from Marvel. You can get those at your local comic shop. And speaking of comics, today is New Comic Book Day. Tons of new things hitting the shelf. So we're going to give you our picks. It is time for What's at Comic Shops. All right, so it is New Comic Book Day. Tons of new comics coming out. You guys can tell us what you're excited about in the comments below. Maybe we'll pick on some of you and talk about your choices. If you want to see the full list of comics available today, you can head over to PREVIEWSworld.com/new releases, and that'll give you everything: comics, graphic novels, trading cards, toys, collectibles, you name it, it's listed there. So Mia, let's jump in. What are you looking forward to today?
So I'm looking forward to a comic that's based on a video game that I'm kind of late in the game too, but I finally played, and it's Life is Strange. If you want a video game that will literally just break you, it's such a great storyline, but it's so heartbreaking and so like you get so invested in the characters. So I'm glad to see that this is coming. This has been brought to a comic format. So there's Life is Strange coming home. What's great about this is it's a new story arc, and it's bringing in the first appearance of Alex Chen, who is the main character from the new Life is Strange game True Colors. So you get, Max and Chloe and even Rachel from the first games brought in with Alex, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where the story goes, and I'm gonna make sure I have a box of tissues with me.
Aww.
And it's a great story, but they're really great at, you would love it because character development and really giving you a sense of feeling for every single character. So when things do happen, yeah, you really feel kind of impacted.
Yeah, I know this is insanely popular. It was a free comic book day book, and it got a lot of traction and a lot of hype. So maybe I will have to dip my toe into that.
really good.
My pick this week is Lore from Fantagraphics. It's this beautiful, you can see by the cover, gorgeous art, sci-fi graphic novel. And it's set in the world startlingly like our own, somewhat unfortunately, where climate change is beginning to threaten the long-term habitability of Earth. And so there's a group of idealistic young artists from Earth that are commissioned by a corporation to develop this corporate art project on this planet called Lore that's been colonized for luxury living. And so the world's elite, the richest, most affluent people vacation there part-time because they can. And it's an ocean planet. So they're just hanging out, chilling, except when the climate change issue becomes a very real issue. Those that can afford to move to Lore and live there permanently while Earth kind of slowly decays. And so then it starts with this larger approach on climate change, and then it really zooms in to focus on one character named Joe Sparta, who's going to Lore to help with this large-scale public art installation. But she finds out during kind of the art process that the corporate benefactor employing her is, of course, up to no good. They're nefarious. They're kind of exploiting this planet as they did to Earth, which is how they ruined Earth in the first place. So she feels the need to go public with it. And of course, there's tons of backlash. And I think this is a really, really important cautionary tale to dip our feet into now. And I think it's going to do a really good job of kind of balancing these themes of climate change, wealth disparity, like socioeconomic inequalities, and the value of art and kind of how all of those things can work with and against each other. And I think it could be really interesting. It just, I have to admit, the cover art caught my eye because it is so beautiful. But this is an important story to kind of start unpacking in more realistic terms. That's a bit of a downer, but I'm excited about it.
That artwork on the cover is really, it's got like that very like 70s almost psychedelic feel to it.
It reminds me of what are those things you like? A kaleidoscope.
Yeah, I see it. I can see it.
So I'm interested to see. I hope the art inside looks the same and is like that same kind of like super vibrant looking type of art. All right, so let's jump into the rest of the things you guys can get at the comic shop, because of course it's not just these two titles. We have Natasha with us to show us what collectibles you can grab, because it's not just comics out this week. So Natasha will tell us what is available in this week's toy chest.
Hey everyone, Natasha here to give you a look inside the Previews toy chest. Let's find out what's available at comic shops for the week of November 3rd, 2021. Be sure to check with your local comic shop for availability. And to see more, head over to PREVIEWSworld.com/toychest. There you'll feast your eyes on more hot new collectibles.
So as Natasha said there, you can head over to PREVIEWSworld.com/toychest to see the full list of toys available, or you can head over to PREVIEWSworld.com/new releases, and that'll give you the full list of everything that's out today. And like I said earlier, that is literally everything you could get excited about: comic books, graphic novels, statues, action figures, puzzles, trading cards, clothes, the whole shebang. It is all on that list, and you can grab those goodies at your local comic shop. So let's jump into some news. Speaking of goodies.
News on the march.
My new favorite part of the show is just waiting to see how Johnny's going to ruin that news segment.
Whoa. Ruin. Seriously,
I mean, make 400 times better than it would have been.
I brought out the special high-tech technology to get that old-timey radio sound. Like, news on the march.
That's...
I love that That's how you do that.
I get no love here.
That makes it even better because I'm just gonna picture you doing that every time.
Because I'm talking into a cup. That's great. I take my statement back. It's not ruined. It's great. It's the highlight of the show as far as I'm concerned. All right. So in terms of news and toys, what can you tell us, Mia?
All right, so you know me, I am a huge Funko fan, so I am very excited because there is a previews exclusive coming out that's from Funko and one of my favorite comics, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
So there are some classic comic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Funko Pops coming out. I love them because they have that great, like, classic comic look to them with the comic shading on the Funko Pop, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And then they've also got the classic red bandana look. So, you know, if you're new to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and haven't read the comics yet, they all have red bandanas in the comics, and you can tell them apart by their weapons. I know that there were some people that were like, is this a typo? Is there like some sort of error? Because they're all wearing red. They're all Raphael. And I'm like, no. And then the original comic, they all have red bandanas.
Right.
And so, yeah, they recreated this. And then what's great is you also get Casey Jones and Shredder in there. And they really do look like they're straight out of the comic pages. So I'm excited for these. And then they each have a Chase variant. So you've got the regular color version and then the black and white Chase variant. So I think Chases are like 1 in 6. So nice. I think, so yeah, got to get your chances at those. So.
Right. I get to your local comic shop and start bugging them early.
Yes. Yes.
Those are
a
really
whole case. From your local comic
all
shop.
for yourself. Increase your chances of finding that Chase variant.
Exactly. No, there are people that do that. That will buy like a whole case of like, 6 or 10 or something like that in the hopes that at least one of those will be a Chase. So if you want to go help out your local comic shop.
That's a way to do it. Do you know what I just remembered? I'm fairly certain at one point in time, Troy dubbed you the Funko High Priestess. I feel like that's a thing.
Yes, I need some sort of like priestess.
We need your crown.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna
can't let the name die. I should have introduced you as that, but I just remembered that was a thing.
Okay, next time we'll do that, and I'll create a crown.
Okay, make a crown out. No Good Comics says, "Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back.
Hey.
Make a crown out of Funkos."
Think I may have to do that. All right.
That seems like
returning.
All right. So other news is yesterday, Image Comics workers, I should say, announced that they had launched a workers union that they called Comic Book Workers United. The announcement is signed by 9 Image Comics employees, and they stated that being the first comics publisher to unionize is very much in the spirit of the original goals of Image Comics to empower their creators. They released an official statement, which reads, in part, "For years, comic publishing workers have watched our professional efforts support creators and delight readers. Sadly, we have also watched that same labor be taken for granted at best and exploited at worst. Keeping our heads above water was the new normal before the pandemic. And since its onset, we have been expected to take on even larger workloads with fewer resources. We love what we do, but loving what you do doesn't mean you can't or shouldn't ask for improvements to your working conditions." So if you would like to read their statement in full, it goes beyond that, or see their list of goals and efforts, and just generally get more information on Comic Book Workers United, you can visit their website at cbwupdx.squarespace.com, or you can find them on Twitter under Comic Book Workers United. Changing gears here in just a very dramatic way. Mia, there's some Chris Pratt drama again.
I think there's always Chris Pratt drama, but lately I think this was like the straw that broke a lot of people's backs. So it was recently announced that Chris Pratt is going to be voicing yet another character in a major motion picture, and this is going to be Garfield this time. So This has I think just the internet's done. There was a lot of table flipping, a lot of comments from people about the fact that Chris Pratt has voiced the Lego Man. He was in Onward. He was announced as Mario, and now he's Garfield. So he's kind of taking over the voice acting world here. But in particular, there were some great posts on Twitter and says, we got to stop Chris Pratt before he gets 2 more major voice roles and snaps us.
Man, oh man. We're in trouble.
Go to hell is basic. I hope your favorite character gets voiced by Chris Pratt. It's smart, it's possible, and it's terrifying.
That's petty. That's what that is.
It really is a matter of time until Goku is voiced by Chris Pratt.
No. There has to be a line in the sand somewhere.
We keep thinking that. Chris Pratt has reportedly signed on to voice Clippy in the upcoming Microsoft Cinematic Universe.
Don't do that to
And
Clippy.
I love that it's MCU.
Oh, true. Clippy
These are so great. Breaking. Chris Pratt will be voicing Chris Pratt in the Chris Pratt animated movie. Source, Chris Pratt.
Oh, man.
Chris Pratt is Mario. Chris Pratt is Garfield. Your doctor? It's Chris Pratt. The person you married 13 years ago? It's been Chris Pratt the whole time. A cool breeze whispers through an ancient forest. Each of the thousands of conifers, part of the Pratt consciousness. And so I was talking to Johnny about that one earlier, and I said it kind of reminds me of the movie The Happening. And so really, it wasn't that the trees were trying to kill us, it was Chris Pratt was trying to kill us.
My God. Man, get your money. Get that Chris Pratt money. Overpriced Comics says, does this mean nobody wants to see Chris Pratt's face on screen anymore?
Oh.
On to
The voice
there.
over the face. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Gotta make our choices here. Poor Chris Pratt, dude. It's so unfortunate. He went from like so cool and exciting and novel to like, hey, this guy is like cool and swanky, and now everyone hates him. Like that was a very swift transition.
I feel like a lot of it is like when you overplay a song on the radio, right? It's like, you got Guardians of the Galaxy and you're like, okay, this is really good. We're liking this Chris Pratt. And then he was in Jurassic World. You're like, okay, we can still do this. This is good. And then by like, Mario, we're like, okay, what the heck?
Right. And that's like, the other thing is like, I didn't realize until you pointed out yesterday in our production meeting, how many characters he's voiced, that it's just like, he's just everywhere. And it's one of those things where it's like he's just everywhere without you even knowing. Like it's like the Samuel L. Jackson effect, right? Like it starts to get grating, or like Troy would say J.K. Simmons, since he hates the Samuel L. Jackson reference.
I have to pop in here real quick because I feel like I was telling Mia before we started the show that I feel like this whole thing with Chris Pratt needs to have its own feature segment on our show.
Just like Chris Pratt follow-ups.
Yeah. Chris Pratt Watch 2021.
Why are we mad at him now?
Oh my God, yes. It's just so much. What if people get confused, right? So you like recognize him as the voice of, say, the Lego guy, and then you hear him in Garfield, and then you're like, it's just the Lego guy in Garfield. Like, what's going on? It's all the same character. Because it's not like he changes his voice.
That's what I was about to ask you. He's not like a voice actor in the sense that like he can do a lot of voices. He just does his own voice, right?
Yeah, it's just him as all these characters. And when it's only the voice that you recognize, you're just kind of like, I don't know. I guess you could just say that Garfield is in the Lego movie now. And
so is Mario.
So.
Oh, that's dangerous. Oh, yikes.
But yeah, give more roles to voice actors. Come on.
Right.
Have faith in your productions.
Or have faith in Chris Pratt, however you feel comfortable.
It's one or the other, apparently.
All right, let's move on to the trailer. We're going to show you some of the swanky things available at Hakes. Today is the last day to get your bids in at Hakes. So let's check out the video, see what's available, and then we'll give you a little more information when we come back.
Hicks Auctions is the premier source for all manner of Americana and collectibles, and auction number 233 is now open for bidding. Here are some of the amazing items that you can find over at Hakes.com. Be sure to check out the full auction by visiting Hakes.com. Closing dates for items in auction 233 are November 2nd through 3rd. Hakes, America's first collectibles auction house.
Okay, so as I said in the video, today, November 3rd, is the last day for bidding, is the final day to get your bids in. And like we've kind of tried to nail home before in previous episodes, is there's something for everybody in this, right? If you're not a heavy bidder, you don't want to be like throwing money in the wind, you can get, you know, individual comic books, CGC graded comic books, action figures. There's uncut Pokemon sheets. There's really something for every price range, I should say. But speaking of the most interesting price range, the highest price range, and the thing we've been following the most is this Captain America Hero Prop Shield that Chris Evans used on the set of Avengers Endgame that has reached kind of like a crazy price at this point. So let's check in on what that is.
Before we jump into that, I want to say it's actually really cool that the whole story about the Captain America shield was actually picked up by Nerdist.com as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that was pretty cool. And actually that gives me a little bit of pride because I actually made that video on there. So yay me.
Oh, shout out, Johnny.
So yes, anyway, I think this time last week, the shield was at $82,500.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this week, I believe it was at $100,100.
Damn.
Well, let's check it out because I'm curious. Any guesses on where it's at?
You said it was at like just over 100.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know. I have no concept, so I'm just gonna guess blindly. 115.
What is 162?
Oh,
750.
wow. And it's still got 4 hours left. Anyone got $175,000 I can borrow? Anybody?
Crowdfund this right now.
This too can be yours for the low price of $162,750.
My
Oh,
God.
that's awesome. There are 14 very wealthy people.
The kudos to you, whoever's going to win. Good luck on your bidding.
Yes.
Shout
Let
out
me
to
just
you.
come over and like see it or like touch it or something.
Yeah, just look at it. I don't even want to handle it. God.
That's cool.
That is kind of cool though. I'm excited to see it go to a good home. I feel like we've been following this very closely. Cover Price Comics. Is it even signed? The shield is not signed, but it does come with a certificate of authentication from Marvel's Prop Master. So that is signed by the Prop Master. I don't know that I would want the shield itself signed. I feel like that would kind of defeat the purpose of it. All right, so let's move on, jump into Social Swamp. We're going to keep it, somewhat tame. We're not going to get crazy with it this week, but I'm going to flip it over to Mia, and she's going to see what we're talking about.
I always have to do like a little jig on that one. All right. So for Social Swamp this week, Halloween may be over, but we aren't ready to say goodbye to it quite yet. We want to see all the amazing costumes that you wore. So here are some of the costumes sent in from our social media. Duncan, my favorite obscure Batman villain, the Spook.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Derek, my son's costume. Oh, so cute. Thomas, my daughter Catherine. Yes.
She looks
even
good.
got the pose down. Yes.
Right, she took the pose.
Jessica, I made my daughter a Wings of Fire dragon costume. Wow. Look at those wings.
That's impressive.
That's amazing. Yes. Ah, look at this Loki variant family. That is too cute. Even the baby. That's adorable.
I love that.
That's cute. David, my wife, my kids, and me as Marceline, Finn, Princess Bubblegum, and the Ice King from Adventure Time. Oh, that's cute.
That's cute. I love a family costume.
Yes. Brian, I dressed up as Ash Ketchum. Not much, but a woman dressed as Misty came up to me and asked me to take pictures with her kids who were dressed as Pikachu. You should have seen how happy those kids were. It was the cutest thing ever. Aww.
Oh, I love
So
that.
cute. Mark, oh, look at this
Yes.
team up. Yes.
Yes. Commitment.
And Nav, another family dressed up together.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
all the superheroes together.
They really went for it too.
Victoria, my son and his service dog as Wanda and Vision.
Oh,
That's
my
so
God.
adorable.
The dog. The dog is dressed as Wanda. Oh my God.
I love it. That's always so fun. And yes, exactly. The family that, costumes or cosplays together stays together.
Yes.
Definitely. What
Yes.
about you, Ashton? What did you do for Halloween this year?
So my friends and I got together and we went for a classic. We went as the Scooby Gang. I was Daphne. And I felt very committed to this. I'm like, I'm getting the wig, I'm getting like the pink tights, the whole nine. I was surprised. I have to say, I was surprised that the boys committed just as much as, my two girlfriends. Because sometimes, not to be rude, but, boys sometimes are less interested. But I was really happy with how it came together, and I feel like we really pulled it off. We stopped in at like a grocery store to buy some snacks on the way. We were headed to a friend's Halloween party, and we didn't want to like show up empty-handed or whatever. So we stopped to get snacks. And the 5 of us walked in and caused such a stir. Like the girls at the cash register were like, "We need to take a picture. Like I need this for my snap. Line up, line up." It was very cute.
Oh, that's awesome. I would have loved to see you guys. I actually saw some people walking into a grocery store in costume. I'm like, oh, I was like, yes, I would have loved to see you guys. No, you looked so perfect. Oh, that's so much
you.
fun. I was lame this year because, it's one of those things of like, I'm a cosplayer, so I'm kind of in costume all the time, and I find a lot of us cosplayers, like, we're just like onesies or like simple Spirit Halloween costumes. So
Yeah.
I was just the gag giant bag of Cheetos for Halloween. And it was kind of funny because it literally just makes me look like a giant bag of Cheetos. If you watch last week's preview
Yeah.
weekly where I was on there. So if you catch that, go watch that episode. You can see me as a giant bag of Cheetos. So
I have to
that was
say
my-
though, like you're like, oh, well, I was lazy, whatever. But it was so popular. Like we got so many comments last week that was like, Mia wins the show, like Mia wins Halloween. Like it was so cute. You totally
I feel
did.
like it's the goofy ones. It's like a dad joke as a comic. It's just, as a costume. It's just the more ridiculous you go. So yeah, I have fun with it, and I just do something completely dumb.
Speaking of dad jokes, I think Johnny accomplished the ultimate dad joke on Halloween.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
So I said last week that basically I was going to put this beard to good use and go as Captain Obvious. It was very last minute. I happened to find it off of Amazon, but the end result did not disappoint.
It's perfect.
It's so perfect.
So good.
I went out to Halloween parties over the weekend, and I was just like going around stating obvious statements like 2 + 2 = 4. The capital of Maryland is Annapolis. You can find the best deals on hotels on hotels.com. Blah, blah, blah,
Of
blah, blah.
course.
So, but it was funny. Like on Saturday, we were leaving one Halloween party, and as we're driving out, I look down and I see like another house is having their own Halloween party, and I'm like, I should totally crash that party. Just walk up there, or just park the car, walk over there, and just look around, make myself known, say, "This is a Halloween party," and then just leave.
Yep. And
Yes,
then
you need to do
everyone was
that.
like, who was that guy? Like, was
Some
anyone
guy
know?
just dressed as Captain Obvious showed up and said that this is a Halloween party, and then left, and we never saw him again. They would never forget that ever.
You would be
That
a
would have been
legend.
so iconic.
But I was like, I chose not to. So now I'm like, I should have done that. But
Johnny, you really need to be on the show one time in the background as Captain Obvious, and then just pop in every now and then to just say the most obvious things like interjectedly during the Previews World Weekly show.
Trust me,
costume.
I have really honestly
But make it random.
I honestly thought about doing that for this show.
We need to do that.
Yes.
I don't want to get in trouble with the hotels.com people for copyright infringement.
Oh, but it would
Would
be
you
so
though?
funny.
It's done out of parody though, so I don't know. We may be safe.
Okay, let's look up the legality of this.
Someone who's watching this on our marketing team, get on that.
Yes.
Like, just me popping in and just be like, Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
And then
And
just
Don't even tell us
It's
which
like-
day. And
Yeah.
don't even tell us which day. Just do it randomly. Just oh my god, yeah.
yes, please.
Be on the watch out.
Yes.
We're gonna make magic happen.
I love it. That's a great idea. All right. We're gonna keep it ridiculous and move on to our poll this week. Did you know, Mia, today is National Sandwich Day?
I didn't, but now I need to make a sandwich.
Yes, you do. So in the spirit of National Sandwich Day, I asked a very important, if somewhat incendiary question on Free Comic Book Day. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Is it a sandwich?
I think it is. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like the definition of a sandwich is 2 pieces of bread and then something in the middle, right? Because and it doesn't necessarily have to be meat, because a grilled cheese is still a sandwich,
Right. Or like a PB&J.
So I don't feel like it's the bread, the things between 2 pieces of bread that make it a sandwich. So I guess just because it's this way doesn't mean it's not. It's just a horizontal
taco?
sandwich.
Is it a taco?
Oh. But now you're twisting the definition of what is bread and saying that a tortilla.
Isn't a tortilla made out of flour? Bread's made out of flour.
This is just going to go wrong in so many ways.
But what about a corn tortilla? So does that mean that like a hard shell taco is a sandwich, but a soft shell taco is not? Oh wait, without.
So now we're getting into the realm of like with a corn dog. It's wrapped in breading, so is a corn dog a sandwich?
No, why would a corn dog be a
'cause
sandwich?
Because it's 1 piece of bread.
By the way, I don't think a hot dog's a sandwich, and I'll tell you why later.
Cover Price Comics rabbit hole time. Yes.
100%.
So
Maybe it's a horizontal sandwich. It's just on its side.
it's just I don't know. This
What is
is
a
just
horizontal sandwich?
it
One
just
on its
depends on-
side, the other way, instead of being stacked like this. Like imagine one of the Jughead sandwiches, right? So you just put it that way.
Hey, Johnny.
And 39 minutes and 15 seconds into the show is where everything went off the rails.
Hey, we made it most of the way this time.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? I'm going to be, instead of Captain Obvious, I'm going to be Captain Incendiary, because I'm saying absolutely not, because the same kind of people who say a hot dog is a sandwich are the same people that say Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It's not.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna bring that up next week, because I think Troy thinks that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and I think he's very staunch in that perspective.
Oh.
He thinks it is or that it isn't?
He thinks it is a Christmas movie.
Oh my God. I thought we were friends.
Oh.
I
Okay,
don't-
wait, someone's saying a hot dog bun is connected, thus 1 piece of bread, thus not a sandwich. Okay, I don't know about you, but like almost every time I try to have a hot dog, that thing splits and it becomes 2 pieces of bread. So to me, almost all the time, my hamburger buns are broken.
It ends
so
up a sandwich.
it ends up a round
I'm saying
sandwich.
definitely 39.5%. Absolutely not 60.5. A hot dog's a hot dog. A sandwich is a sandwich.
But what makes a sandwich a sandwich? Like, what is the criteria?
Well, hold
To
on.
be a sandwich.
Speaking of which, first of all, Ed Schmidt is saying Die Hard is a Christmas movie. If you say, I will go to the wall against this, but like the amount of time, I know we're getting like way off track. The amount of time that is actually spent referencing or having Christmas items in the shot is about like 13% of the entire movie of Die Hard. Not enough to qualify as a Christmas movie. But at the same time, if you use that same criteria, then It's a Wonderful Life is also not a Christmas movie. Because that's only like a small portion of the movie.
I have not seen It's a Wonderful Life in so long, and I have no recollection of it.
a different argument for a different time. Anyway, what?
Oh, we're gonna yell about that on this
Yes.
show. Don't you even worry.
Oh, yeah.
So, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh,
Cruikshank says, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, it is.
Why do they get to decide that?
I don't know. I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, now I have to go to the U.S. Department of Agriculture website to figure out, like, where is this information?
What do I Google to get that? How do I get there?
Comic Guy Steve, technically sure. So for people who want to be contrarian, it's a yes. But nobody goes to a sandwich shop to get a hot dog. Also, just as a tomato is a fruit. Been at this for months. A hot dog is an open-faced sandwich.
But it's got 2 pieces of bread. Isn't open face only 1 piece of bread?
A hot dog bun is, I mean, it's technically split open. It's 1 piece of bread.
all right, I found it. The USDA guidance also suggests the hot dog as meat between bread falls into the sandwich category. But the regulations paint a muddy picture as they hinge on the question of open or closed, which would ignite a second round of debate where the hot dog
The
is
regulations?
Oh my God.
So, is it an open-faced sandwich or a closed sandwich? But hey, the USDA says it's a sandwich. So.
I'm so upset that someone even suggested the idea of an open face, and then Johnny said it's 1 piece of bread. I feel like my brain just melted.
When you get a hot dog, it's 1 bread. It's got a slit down the middle of it. So you open
Not
it.
always.
It's 1 piece of bread, but it's
Well,
not-
if you're getting the cheap stuff.
No, but like it's the meat is in the middle. It's smooshed on 2 sides, like any other sandwich is smooshed on 2 sides.
It's just a C.
Cut to a shot, like 4 hours later, of us still arguing about this.
I feel we need like much firmer regulations on this.
But from
There
the
needs
U.S.
to be a
Department of
definitive
Agriculture.
answer.
The fact that there is regulation on this at all is just,
It's
hey,
hilarious.
these are the hard-hitting issues that we need to talk about, people.
The next election, president, vice
A
president,
country divided.
hot dog is a sandwich.
Total election issue.
There you go.
My fellow Americans,
Oh my God.
I promise you that there will be a car in every garage and a hot dog on every plate. Vote PREVIEWSworld.
Iconic.
Let's wrap this up.
Oh my god.
All right, we're doing great. So I don't feel like we settled anything there, but we discussed it. Mia, what is this week's comic shop shout out?
So this week from Madeline Jonas, we have, I love that we have a great local comic book store, Bulletproof Comics Inc. in Brooklyn. Hank is great with the kids, including my teenager. I love that.
I love that.
I love when
too.
you have comic book shops where people are like helpful and they want to like suggest comics to you, and especially for like younger kids who are just getting into it. That's always great. I love that.
Especially if you can go in and be like, I don't know, pick whatever, this show on Netflix, and they can be like, okay, well, great, you'll love this comic, it'll be perfect. That's the best.
Yes. Comic book recommendations are
Yes.
always wanted in our local comic book shops. So yes, great job.
Breaking news, this just in. Dave Brown, if the bun is split into 2 pieces, then yes, otherwise no. So this might be the deciding factor.
Did you
If
break
it's-
the bun trying to
If
eat
it's
the hot
2
dog?
separate pieces of bread versus 1, maybe it's a matter of semantics.
Oh God, what if it is?
Bun versus buns. Oh.
I don't know if I am satisfied with that or not. Gonna have to
It's like
let
an
that one
almond
sit.
joy. It's like sometimes it is a sandwich and sometimes it's not,
Oh. I don't know what to
I
do
don't
with
know.
that. I don't know how I feel. All right, let's move this along. God, all right. Yes, thank you, Johnny. All right, so we're gonna wrap this mess up. We were doing so good until we got to the poll and then just off the rails. All right, so if you want more ridiculous crap like this, which is fun, you can follow, subscribe to @PREVIEWSworld or Free Comic Book Day, and that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and in the instance of Free Comic Book Day, TikTok too. Mia, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on all my social media at Animia Official, or for some reason I'm still animia.cosplay on Facebook. Check out all those. I also have a comic book that I wrote that's going to be coming out, and there is a link to the campaign for it on all of my social media. There's like, I think 2 days left. So if you want to pledge, I wrote a comic book, yay!
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
And what else? We did an episode of the panel last week. You want to talk about that really quick?
Yes. So last week we got to sit down and talk about the chilling adventures of Sabrina, which was perfect for Halloween. We actually got to sit down with some folks from Archie Comics. So it was great. So we got a little bit more insider knowledge from the folks that know. And then we also talked about some of the other series that are going to be coming out soon that look amazing. If you're a fan of Madam Satan, definitely check those out. So yes, make sure to go check the last episode of the panel, not only for that, but to also, just find out some other recommended comics to read too.
Absolutely. And in terms of recommended comics, if you're heading to your local comic shop this week and you don't quite know what you want to grab, you can head over to PREVIEWSworld.com. We've put together an article for you called Start Here. And it hits, new number ones or stories that have good jumping on points. If you don't know where to start or you want to try something new, you can pick up these books and you'll be able to get involved without feeling like you're missing a lot of backstory. So these are great places to start. Hence, Start Here. We like to keep it easy. So and it's big titles too. It's not always indie things. Like you see Hellboy on there, A Thing Called Truth from Image Comics. Got Sheena from Dynamite. So you can go over there, scroll through, get yourself all excited, head to your local comic shop this weekend. I think that does it for us. My God.
We did it.
We did it.
And it didn't fall completely apart on the sandwich topic. Almost.
Yes.
But,
yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. We did the best we could.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that does it for this week. I have been one of your hosts, Ashton Greenwood.
And I am Mia.
And we'll see you guys at the spinner rack.
Don't forget that you can catch Previews World Weekly streaming live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at Previews World on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.